Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers with another monthly roundup. This is the video where we talk about all the things that we've tested over the past few weeks that we haven't been able to fit into other videos. So let's dive in and see what we've all picked this month.
I'm a big fan of Veloforte's range of fueling and hydration products. The general gist is that Veloforte favours real food ingredients over synthetics and anything artificial, but they also shoot for flavours in their gels, bars, chews, protein shakes that you genuinely want to eat. Really interesting flavours there. The Tempo date, lemon and ginger gels are great, but I recently used their newer Desto gels for the first time on my 30-mile solo ultra to test the Adidas Terex Agravich Speed Ultra. There's a video on the channel, you can check that out. And they're excellent. They're loose, sort of runny, syrupy texture that slips down easily is really nice. If you don't have water, you get no gammy mouth kind of aftermath that you can get with thicker gels. The hit of real cherry is delicious in these with a good balance of sweet but a bit of sharpness as well. They remind me somewhat of the Cherry Active gels that you can buy, which are also worth a look actually if you want something a little bit different. There's 75 milligrams of caffeine from guarana here. It doesn't have a bitter taste and it played nice with my stomach on that run. There's 22 grams of carb in each nice compact gel. That's pretty standard. They're really nice and stashable. They're easy to open. And if you're looking for a more natural way to fuel than maltodextrin options, these are definitely worth a look. You probably won't want to eat 12 of them in a row. I think the flavor's a bit much for that. So I tend to use these in combination with the more kind of neutral precision fuel and hydration 90-gram pouches, and then add in one of these for a great kind of flavor jolt and a nice switch up in taste along the way. Now it's called a Racepac 20, but I've been mainly using this hydration vest pack for solo runs. I've used it for that same 30-mile solo that I did, and I've stuck it on a lot when I want to go commute a bit, but I don't need to carry too much kit. I really love the versatility of this pack. It's probably a bit more packed than some may want for really lightweight racing. There's a bit more structure to it. It's a bit heavier than something like a lightweight minimal, like those Salomon skin vests that you get, for example, which I also really love racing in. But I think I'd be happy to use this for longer trail adventures where I need to carry a bit more kit and I want a bit more structure to the pack. Now the front bungee system that you've got here is really easy to get a good secure fit. I like the way the harness sits on the shoulders. I found there was very little bounce using this when I had sort of a medium amount of kit in it. There's a nice foam back panel that adds some extra comfort and protection from the stuff that you've got in your pack. You also get plenty of stash space here with a total of 10 pockets across the pack, 2 500ml soft flasks front holstered up here, plus good zipper pocket at the front for a phone. There's a slightly more water protected pocket up here at the top. And overall the fabric here feels durable. There are other happy details like pole attachments and a built-in whistle. And it's just a really well put together hydration pack. I bloody love a good 2-in-1 short, and the only thing I love more than a 2-in-1 short is a 2-in-1 short with a built-in belt for storage. Now these Adidas Own The Run shorts are missing the belt, but I'll let that go because the inner shorts are made from a really nice soft fabric. It's not too compressive, holds everything in place. This offers good support and protection. You know, it looks after your dignity even though you've got these side splits. There's a little leg pocket that can hold a phone here, though I wouldn't trust it with my big iPhone in there. I think it's good for kind of after if you want to stash a phone, but I wouldn't use it whilst running. The outer shorts here are really nice and light. They hang and fit really well. And the twin short combo that you've got here isn't too heavy overall. So they're good for spring, autumn weather. If you like running really minimal in summer, they might be too hot. But I think the sweeping splits here give a good range of motion. I really love the blue and I find them light enough to use in most weather conditions. The belt here as well is nice and wide, elasticated, and it sort of holds really well without cutting in. Yeah, overall, these are sort of some shorts that I found really, really comfortable to run in recently. Yeah, and I think they're relatively well priced as well.
So my first pick this month is the new SIS Rego Clear Recovery Powder. Now, I've been using the standard Rego Recovery Powder for a few years. I used it for most of my London Marathon block this year as well, and that's just the classic chocolate flavour or something like that, quite a thick shake. This is the lighter, clear flavours you have now with the Recovery Clear, which is just much better to have during the hot months, I think. It's a more refreshing drink, a lighter drink. The flavours are much more summer friendly. You've got a peach flavour and a raspberry and cranberry flavour, of which the raspberry and cranberry is better, I would say. And it just gives you all the things you need to help your body bounce back from a hard workout. So generally, if I'm not training too hard, I'll do all my kind of recovery needs via food and normal meals. But if I am really pushing it with a hard training block, I will use a recovery shake after my hard workouts in the week. It just feels like I bounce back much better throughout the rest of the day. And then the next day, if I do that, and I like the classic powder, but during summer, it's nice to have this more lightweight, clear powder, which is just a bit more tasty and refreshing on a hot day. Each serving contains 20 grams of protein, 21 grams of carbs, just kind of the basic stuff you need to get into the body after a really hard workout. It does froth up a lot when mixed, the clear version of this powder, which doesn't really happen so much with the standard version. But if you just leave it a few minutes, that froth comes down and you can drink it very easily. It's not a cheap powder. It's £25 for a 460 gram bag, which is 10 servings, but the kind of thing you can probably look out for in sales. SAS often does sales around things like Black Friday. And like I said, I do like to use a recovery powder now during really hard training blocks, just to not necessarily bounce back and train better the next day. It's almost just to make sure I'm on slightly better form throughout the rest of the day after a hard workout. When I'm dealing with kids or generally just trying to do the rest of my life, it just helps me bounce back quicker so I feel better for the rest of that day. Next pick this month very much is an essential for me. It is the Soltan Sun Care Protect and Moisturize Lip Stick, I guess you could call it. It's basically just a sunscreen for your lips that I use every day on my runs. Like, I just tend to use lip balm of some kind throughout the year, otherwise I get very cracked lips. But in the summer, I really don't like getting burnt lips. It happened to me once at university at a festival, and I got really cracked lips, and I got mocked relentlessly throughout the rest of university, and indeed to this day by some people. So don't get burnt lips. It can really haunt you for a long time. This is a pretty standard one, the Soltan stick. You get it at Boots or on Amazon. It's fairly cheap at £7 for the stick. Sometimes lip balms with sunscreen can get pretty expensive, so this is a pretty basic one. Does the job, whack it on before a run, protect what is an area of the body that gets burnt very easily for running, I find. And when your lips are chapped and cracked, it is not very pleasant when you're sucking down air on the run, I find. Last pick this month is the North Face Summer LT Run Hat. It's part of their new light range, which uses very fast drying fabrics that have some SPF protection as well. It's just a really good summer hat. It is really lightweight and it does dry very quickly. It's almost completely dry now after I ran very sweatily in it not long ago. It's got a easy to adjust fit with the thing at the back there. It's got a pretty classic fit all round, comfortable to wear with glasses, headphones, all that kind of stuff, which I tend to nearly always wear on every single run. It's got a nice big thick band that runs around the front of the hat there that does soak up a lot of sweat, so you're not getting that situation where you sweat so much it starts to drip off the peak of the hat, which does happen to me sometimes with certain hats. It cost £30. Like I said, it's part of the North Face's new range of UPF protective gear. There's a whole load of stuff in there if you are planning to go and do runs in very hot conditions all the time. Don't tend to have a huge problem with the sun in the UK, aside from on my lips. Don't forget the lip stuff. But if you are somewhere where you are constantly worried about that kind of thing, this new range is basically very lightweight materials that don't make you feel hot whilst also protecting you from the sun. So it's quite a nice little range from the North Face. And the hat in particular I have been enjoying as the weather starts to get a little bit better here in the UK.
So Fractel is a brand that I haven't used before. I know Mike's used some of the caps before. I'm a massive fan of caps, so finally I've got around to testing some Fractel caps. The two I've got here are the Abacus, R-Series Abacus, and the R-Series Neptune. Now these are pretty similar in the way that they're designed. They're the sort of caps that I like to wear. They look more like normal caps than some of the running caps that you get. So the Abacus one, which is this colour, is a little bit too colourful for me. I don't tend to wear colourful caps too often, but it's very comfortable. It's made of something called Aero 3D fabric, which is meant to be breathable, lightweight, and just good if you're running and you're getting sweaty, and it does a very, very good job at that. I found this cap to be extremely comfortable when out on the run. It fits my head very, very nicely, and it just feels very lightweight and breathable, and it wicks the sweat away quite quickly. So I test a lot of caps over at the Run Testers. I've got a pile of about 50 caps in my cupboard, and I can be quite choosy about which ones I use, but these ones I've really enjoyed testing. My favourite one is actually the Neptune, so this is more my kind of colour, a bit more subtle, a bit more like a normal cap. I use this one a lot more than this one actually. I like the material a bit more on this. It uses this Polartec material that is also designed to be breathable and comfortable, and it does a very good job at it. I just like the design of this a bit more. I think they both fit pretty much the same to me. They've got a nice lockdown fit. It has this strap at the back which is elasticated, but it's very easy to strap up and get a good fit on. I don't have a particularly big head, so I tend to do it quite low. But overall, I've found both of these to be very comfortable. They've got slightly different technologies in them, the fabrics, but they deliver the same sort of performance benefits to me. Very comfortable, fit on the head quite nice and deep, so you can wear them and look quite nice. They're not the really high sitting ones that you can sometimes get with running caps. So great caps, love them. Very much enjoying running in them at the moment while it's hot. So yeah, pleased that I've finally got to test some Fractel caps out. My next pick this month are some Soar shorts. So these are the graded speed shorts, and these are ridiculously lightweight. So they're basically, for me, I would use these as liners for some of my other shorts because they're very similar to the liner that you get in some of the dual shorts that Soar has. But these, you could wear these if you wanted to on their own. I wouldn't. I don't really like wearing skin tight shorts, cycling style shorts when I'm out running. I don't really want to subject people to that, but if you wanted to, you could. And they're only 64 grams. They're incredibly light, and they have compression built into them as well. What I would say is that if you are used to wearing Soar kit, it generally is quite tight. It's more designed for people like Nick. So if you are a medium in normal shorts, then you probably want to go large in Soar. Definitely with these. So I go small for all of my shorts and liners. These really are the lowest that I would go. They're definitely tighter than I've seen in some other shorts. That's partly because they're compression. They're designed to add certain support across different areas of the legs and the glutes, but they are quite tight, so you might need to go up to the next sizing level just to get a comfortable fit in the shorts. They're okay for me, but I definitely I'm on the verge of them being too small. They are incredibly lightweight, as I've said. They've also got a little pocket in the back which you can probably fit like a gel in or something, and it has this the materials, this really lightweight sort of papery feeling design, but it doesn't feel like a thicker fabric. It just feels very, very light and thin, and as a result it really evaporates sweat off very, very quickly. You can barely notice you've got these on. The other thing as well is it has this inner grip sort of rubber design inside the shorts, which does a fantastic job of holding them on. Once you've got them on, they're staying on, and if you did want to go out and just racing these, you would feel like you're barely wearing anything. They're obviously very expensive. They're £150, which is a lot of money for a pair of shorts, but if you are really serious about your running and you're happy to pay loads of money to have the most lightweight thing out there when you're out racing and getting your PBs, they really are the lightest thing I've ever had on. So well worth having a look at if that's what you're after. But they are a fantastic pair of liners that are worth the money if you're really, really focused on having the lightest bit of kit possible. My final pick this month is something that I've known about for a very long time, but I've never actually got around to testing them, and that's these Luchos Guava energy blocks. Now, normally for the last 2 years, I basically started using fueling and gels and things like that. Before then, I never touched anything. I'd just go out and run a marathon and just see if there's something on course and eat or drink it when I was out there. But since I've started properly training for marathons, I've started looking at fueling more. Normally I'd go for gels for races, or if I was doing hard training. These Luchos are designed for cyclists and runners. It's more for trail runners because it's not the easiest thing to eat. Basically, it's like a little bar that it's like a jelly bar, very, very sweet jelly bar that is natural. It's a natural load of ingredients, and you get it in this little leaf, which is completely compostable. So you can, if you drop it, I mean, you still want to throw it away, but if you dropped it, it would be fine and it would decompose. The bar comes like that, so you can sort of pull it apart, strip it into half, or whatever you want. It's not particularly well designed. If you were going to do a marathon, a road marathon, you wouldn't use these because it'd be too hard to open it up and pull it out. It's not designed for that. It's more for, as I say, cyclists, because obviously you can stop and have some, or trail runners or ultra trail runners, where you can stop off and you can have a bit of a snack and then carry on. It's definitely not an easily consumable thing to have out when you're racing. You'd probably end up dropping it or having too much of it or whatever. But it's definitely a good one to have if you are out on the trails and you want to carry something with you for energy, and you don't want to carry too much. So one of these has 130 calories in, 34 grams of carbohydrates, and 20 milligrams of vitamin C in it. So, and it's not got many ingredients in, so it's quite a nice natural option to have if you don't want to go for some of the gels, which can be quite full of preservatives and sweeteners and things like that. But what I found is they're very sweet, but they're very nice to eat. So I'd be happy to sit and eat these in front of the TV as a treat. I don't do that. because that's very dangerous getting into that world. But they are really nice. Definitely a good option if you're a trail runner and you want something that is verging on food as opposed to gels. I'm doing a lot more easy trail runs at the moment, and these are just working really well. So I'm glad I've had a chance to try these out finally. And they come in loads of different flavours as well, like guava and coffee, guava and berry, guava and orange as well. So I think there's 5 flavours. You can buy it in different sorts of packs. So you can buy 3 of the flavours in 10 packs, and that's about £35. You can buy 27 in one flavour, which is around £36, I think. And you can buy the various sizes of box as well. But the most common ones seem to be those 2. So well worth a look if you're looking for something nice and enjoyable to eat out on the trails. That's it from us this month. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the little bell. And if you're going to catch them below, you can find a link to our podcast, which comes out a few times each month. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.